Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long since I've sat down in front of this camera and I'm so excited to be making today's video. As you can tell by the title, it's a pretty big and important one and I could not be more excited to tell you all about everything that Brandon and I have been doing as a married couple in the past few months. We've been making big changes and big steps. So today's video is going to be all about that and also about the future of this channel because I think now is the best time to announce a revamp. So we're going to be talking about that as well. But first I want to address the elephant in the room, the main reason that everything is changing so much. We bought a house. We bought our first home together and I'm really just still in disbelief that we did it. This was like the next big thing for us, and back in my life update in November I talked about it, that we were starting that process and it was scary and crazy, and we spent all winter getting financially ready to go and started the whole process in early to mid-March-ish. As of May 21st, we had an offer accepted. So it has been a journey. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it. I'm not gonna get super into detail. Originally, this was gonna be a little bit longer of a video, but I've decided to just kind of give you guys the general kind of experience we had as first-time home buyers in this market, and then move on to talking about the channel. So like I said, we started the whole experience in mid-March by getting in touch with a mortgage lender. We ended up going with a lender over a mortgage lender over a bank. I will let you do your own research of what is best for you, but we just decided to go with a lender. She came highly recommended by a friend. So we started working with her, like I said, mid-March, and submitted all of our financial info to her, and started the process of a pre-approval. So if you don't know what that is, that's basically when they look into your finances and your whole life, essentially. It's very invasive, but has to be, to determine what they feel comfortable loaning you as a max amount. And it's not a permanent amount, it can change depending on your financial status, but basically she started that process with us mid-March, and by the end of March we had a pre-approval and we're working with a realtor. Our realtor is a friend of my mom's, and she met with us beforehand and gave us a rundown of what to expect as first-time home buyers, and basically told us to brace ourselves because the market, as some of you might know, is crazy right now. It is not a buyer's market, it is very much a seller's market. But we still wanted to take the leap and try to find a house because we are spending quite a bit every month on this apartment and we're just kind of ready to take that next step, and felt like we were throwing money away. And quite honestly, we don't really have the ability to go and just like live for free with our parents anymore or anything like that. We have 3 pets and a lot of stuff, and we're just ready to have our own place and be paying on it and knowing that that money was paying it off and not just getting thrown out the window every month. So we decided to go for it, and our realtor was very blunt with us and said basically, with your budget, which was fairly modest for our area of New England, you're gonna have to get a little bit lucky. And so we were like, okay, we're ready for the challenge. And honestly, it took about a month and a half, just under 2 months, to get an offer approved. And by the end of that, by the time we got our offer approved, I was so ready to throw in the towel. I wanted to give up because indeed the market is crazy. We saw most properties that we were putting in offers for selling for $20,000 to $30,000 over asking on average. That was just the average. Some even more than that. One house, I went back and looked at what it sold for. It went for like $80,000 over asking. And we are not in the Portland area. I should note the Portland area of Maine is a whole other ball game with realty right now. It's insane. We are not near there. We are more north of there, and realty is still insane. So we also saw people waiving inspections, which we were not interested in doing because that's a huge risk, and it does shorten the timeline for the seller and it's convenient for the seller. So they were going for people that were willing to waive an inspection or buy a house sight unseen. So you've never stepped into the house, you're making an offer without having seen the house. I will admit we did that a couple times, but I felt extremely reckless doing it, and I'm glad that that wasn't one of the houses that we got our offer accepted for. It's actually crazy how your standards can change in this market because you really start to get angry. We ended up putting in an offer on a 1850s farmhouse, which was essentially what we went into the market looking for. And we hadn't been able to find anything in our price range. Everything was either too dilapidated to move into at our price range, or it was beautiful and redone, but 3 times the budget. There was just really no in between. And so we had given up on the dream of an old farmhouse pretty much at the beginning of the search. But one popped up on the market and it was in shockingly good shape, and I immediately jumped on it and we set up a showing the next day. This was one of the few times that actually the only time that the seller was on property when we were at the showing. So Brandon actually got there before us, and she approached him and said basically like, hey, I'm not supposed to talk to you during this, but I want to show you where the well is and I want to show you where the property line is. And proceeded to basically tell him that she had purchased the farmhouse and its accompanying 11 acres behind it for the 11 acres. She wanted to be able to hay the field twice a year, and she was a longtime resident of the town that the house is in, and she really wasn't looking to keep the house. Like, she didn't have any sentimental value to it, it just happened to come with the land. And so with this knowledge, we felt a little more confident that we could maybe get the house for a lower price. So we ended up putting in an offer of $10,000 over asking, which, as you're probably realizing now after what I just told you about this market, is very low. My realtor suggested we stick with that, didn't want us to go any higher, and I became very convinced we were not going to get this house because that just seemed like a number we would get outbid by within like a day. The week went by, offers were to close on that Sunday, and by that point I had completely moved on. I was convinced we were not getting this farmhouse. It just fit the bill too closely, honestly, and it would have been way too lucky for us to get quite literally what we were looking for at such a low price in this market. Like, I just completely convinced. I'm like, we're not getting it. Sunday rolls around, I'm in a conversation with my realtor about another property we were interested in. We're texting back and forth, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she just says, oh, by the way, your offer was just accepted on the farmhouse. And Brandon and I didn't know what to say to each other. We were staring at each other just with our jaws on the floor. Like, it was such a genuinely shocked reaction because after you've been rejected 7 other times, this was house number 8 in a month-and-a-half time span. Once you've been rejected, a bunch of times, you just aren't expecting a yes. We were like, forget the property we're interested in right now, we're gonna go with the farmhouse, like, let's move forward. And that was on May 21st. So we have been in the process of closing for 2 months now. This has been a long closing period because there is a tenant living in the house currently, and they had predetermined that she would move out at the very end of July. So our closing has been very long. Honestly, I haven't minded because it's given us more time to pack and just kind of get our finances in order even more than we already had. We can set aside more money and just like overall just prepare. We are set to close on July 30th. So if you guys are watching this right now, I'm going to probably schedule it to come out on July 30th. So yeah, if it just went up, I am probably in the process of closing / getting the keys to my house. Maybe I'm at my house, maybe we're already moving in, who knows, depending on the time of day you're watching this. If it's July 30th, we're closing. So another interesting thing is that our first wedding anniversary is on August 1st. So this whole moving weekend is going to be our anniversary weekend. And I just think it's very just sweet and full circle. So very excited. Still not quite believing it right now. Right now we're 10 days away as I'm filming this. So still not quite 100% believing this, but we're moving on to the next chapter, guys. That brings me to the second part of this, which is my channel. So I did want to kind of announce my channel rebrand today because it just feels like the best possible time to do that. I have been wanting to rebrand my channel for about a year now, and I've always kind of felt that this channel didn't really have much of an identity. I've mentioned it in other videos before that it just has always felt trendy. That's what I would always call it, because I was making videos just to make videos. I was making story times because they were popular. I was doing clothing hauls because they were popular. But nothing was ever really cohesive. It never felt like it all fit together, except when I was doing very specific things. Like in college, when I started the channel, it was a college advice / college content channel, and that was very easy to maintain because I'm in college. But I knew after I graduated, it would always be a question mark of where is it gonna go? And so, yeah, it became kind of just a channel where I make whatever I want, it's trendy and whatever. And then for a little while it was wedding content because we were getting married, but I always knew that none of that was gonna be super sustainable. So I've always wanted to kind of rebrand everything to a channel that's cohesive, that I feel motivated to make videos for, and that has a purpose, and that people are going to like. About a year ago, you guys really noticed the shift of my content. I started making a lot more day in the life vlogs and cooking stuff and stuff with Brandon, and just a little bit more of just showing our day-to-day life. And it got some really great responses. A lot of people said how much they loved that I was showing that side of my life, and it was not just me like talking head like this. And I really enjoy making those videos. That's why I've decided that after this video today, my channel will be changing over to exclusively a lifestyle channel. So I'm going to be making videos all about our day-to-day life as a married couple in our new home. And a lot of the content is going to change. Some of it is going to stay similar to what I've already been making, but a lot of it will be very deliberate and have a lot of like reasoning behind it and things that I just really want to film. With that, there's all new channel art coming. I've redesigned everything. There's going to be a whole new look and feel. And I also have a new tagline. So my tagline for a long time has been the YouTube channel, or a YouTube channel for the fake adult in you. I adopted that in 2017 when I had graduated college the year before and felt completely and utterly discombobulated with my life. I just didn't know where my life was going. We were bouncing from place to place, living with family and then like renting and then living with family again. And nothing just felt concrete, nothing felt secure. And so I felt like that tagline really fit, like just being a fake adult. A lot of people liked that tagline, it resonated with them. But as time has gone on, you know, Brandon and I are married now, we're moving into a house, we're looking to the future, looking for future plans. And really starting to settle into that new life. And I guess you could call it like a new season of life. My new tagline, oh, sorry, my neighbor's grandkids are over, it's pretty loud. So my new tagline is going to focus on that aspect. And I came up with a tagline, good old-fashioned life. It definitely is old-fashioned because of our old 1850s farmhouse that we're moving into, but also just because I grew up loving the olden days. As a kid, I wanted to be like a pioneer. I was obsessed with Little House on the Prairie. I was obsessed with colonial times. I still am. I like how I'm saying I was. I still am. I've always been really big into history, and I've always loved the idea of living a very simple country lifestyle. And that is kind of what we're moving into. The town we're moving into is very rural, and it's a lot of farmland, and it's a lot of just simple living. And so I feel like good old-fashioned life just really fits what we're gonna be heading into. So that's the new tagline. Everything else is gonna stay a secret until next video, which will be my empty house tour. That's gonna be the first video on the rebranded channel. So very, very excited for you guys to see that. But I wanna also just touch upon a few other things that you will see throughout the channel. All of the older videos that I don't feel resonate with the channel anymore are going to go away. And then I'm gonna obviously keep my story times on here as well as my wedding content, because that's all stuff that I like to go back and just kind of reminisce. Anything that I don't feel aligns with me anymore as a person, as an adult, I'm gonna be getting rid of. And we're gonna start afresh. So the day in the life vlogs that everyone really is liking will still be around. Those are still going to be a type of content that I make regularly. As long as I'm doing something fairly interesting that day, you know, it's It's, I think, a little bit entertaining. You guys seem to really like it, so I'll be making those. I am gonna aim for a higher production quality because honestly, some of them are very thrown together. I just kind of would make them really fast just to get something up, and I have moved away from editing a lot, which I actually really love editing. It's my favorite part of making videos. So I'll be doing a lot more editing, a lot more higher production quality stuff, hopefully. I also have like a list of ideas of things that I'm going to be making, so let me just grab that and I'm going to tell you guys all about it and what you have to look forward to. So obviously the first thing will be the house tour, as I just mentioned. I am not going to be vlogging our moving process at all because moving is way too stressful, guys. I don't want to have to be filming at the same time. So there'll be an empty house tour when we first get our keys, and then after that it's just gonna kind of move into after we've settled a little bit, just like daily vlogs and things like that. There won't be a vlog every day. I shouldn't be saying daily vlogs. The day in my life vlogs will be the most prominent thing. Other ideas though, we are moving into an old farmhouse. It is pretty outdated. When I say outdated, I mean like from the 90s-ish. It was definitely renovated a few years back. So it's not ideal. It's definitely livable. That was very important to us, that it was not like run down. It's very, very livable. It's just not our style. So we are gonna be doing some renovating, and the main room I wanna renovate is the kitchen. So when we do the house tour, I'll kind of point out what I'm thinking for that. But each room is gonna get a facelift at some point. So I'm gonna be making some videos on that. I don't know yet how they'll be structured. It could just be like by room, like each room has its own video, or it could be several smaller projects have their own video. It's all gonna depend, and renovations can be very unpredictable, so we will see. But along with that, I wanna do some furniture flips. We had Brandon's family very generously donate 2 whole bedroom sets to us because we have a guest room now, and we were also kind of in the market for a new dresser and stuff ourselves. So they donated a bunch of really nice wooden furniture to us that I am going to refinish and make work in the space. So very pumped for that, so stay tuned for those videos. I'm also gonna do some decorating videos. My goal for this house is to decorate with stuff that we either already have or is thrifted or from antique shops. That's a huge challenge, and I don't know if I'm gonna actually achieve that, but I want the majority of the things that I buy for the house to be a bargain, essentially. I want to do things on a budget. I don't want to like overspend and go crazy. As much as I could like live in the Magnolia Farm section of Target, I don't think that that's very sustainable for my wallet. So I will be doing a lot of yard sailing. So there will be yard sailing videos and thrifting videos as well, hopefully this fall. Yard sales are all over the place in the fall in Maine. Such beautiful weather, it's like perfect for that. So hopefully we'll be going to quite a bit of yard sales and finding furniture and decorations and things, so that'll be really fun. I also would like to do some cooking videos, probably. Those will be fairly sporadic, but we have some great recipes that I make in our normal rotation of dinners, so maybe I'll do some cooking videos here and there. And then also I have like a whole host of recipes that I've seen on TikTok that I want to try, so maybe that'll be like a TikTok like recipe like series where I just try different things that I see on TikTok. I don't know, we'll see. So I have some ideas for that, and I have some like baking video ideas. So I definitely want to get more into the cooking and baking videos, as well as seasonal cooking. So at the holidays, just showing what we usually make traditionally, and different desserts and things like that. We are planning on having a housewarming party this fall, so there will probably be a video surrounded by the preparation for that. So there'll be cooking and decorating and things. So that'll be really fun too. I also plan to have a garden. It'll probably not be this year, obviously. We're moving in August, so it'll be next spring. I'm gonna start the garden. I want to have some raised garden beds. Eventually would absolutely love to have a greenhouse, but we will see. Brandon would probably be like, no, are you crazy? Lumber prices are nuts. We're not building a greenhouse right now. I would love to have a greenhouse, but we'll start with a small garden. So there will be some gardening videos next year. I am a complete novice, so we will see how that goes, but pretty excited to make some videos about it. And anything else that I can think of in the meantime is basically what I'm gonna make. The whole outer theme will be lifestyle though. Everything will be house related, marriage related, outings to different places, vlogs, probably a lot of vlogging, stuff like that. So yeah, that is everything I had to tell you today. It was a whole lot of information, but I'm so excited to move forward and for everyone to see all of the things that we have been working on all summer. I'm so sorry I've been super distant and not here on YouTube at all. It's literally been, I think, 3 or 4 months since I've put a video out, and I'm really hoping to become more consistent after we move, and this was kind of like the big thing that we were working on. And now that we have achieved it, I'm feeling really proud of us and really excited for the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe, especially if you want to see all that new upcoming stuff and the whole rebrand. Click the subscribe button, click the bell so that you know when I post that empty house tour. I'm so excited for you guys to see the farmhouse. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.